Good evening, everybody. It's King Raybet. Listen, I've seen these videos be able to be started from various different places on different ways on Substack. And because people don't see sometimes the descriptions that I place under the video, depending on how you looked at it, you'll never see that I tried to correct some errors. So I figured I'd do it online. I'd do it in a video. Listen, this was about the no not me video I did yesterday. Um, so I made some errors and I wanted to correct them. Maybe talk a little bit more about that subject. First of all, there are not 20 million Substack subscribers or users. There's only 20,000. I don't know what I was looking at that made me look and see 20,000 and then say 20 million. Oh my God. What a major mistake. So, as you can see, there's only 20,000 to 25,000 subscribers on Substack. And so add another 5,000 to that, 10,000 max, and you'll have 35,000 people. So we are a very small subset of society as a whole. For foreigners or people who don't know, there's only about 300 and I don't know. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but 350 million people in the United States. So, how much is 25,000 people? So this is a very small echo chamber we got going on here on Substack. And what a lot of these writers and videographers and stuff like that are counting on is that we share this stuff so that it can multiply and reach more than just our people on Substack. But what happens more times than not that people don't share onto other platforms, and so it doesn't multiply. And a lot of the more famous people who do videos on Substack have a production team, and so they're uploading to various places at the same time. And not us little guys, though. I need a production team because listen, I am not a videographer. I don't know. I can make videos. I know very little about editing them. I don't have the proper software to make. Uh, yeah, the only software I know is iMovie, and then because I make videos with my phone, and then I edit them on my phone, and then I upload them to YouTube. I don't know how to do none of that on Substack if I could do it at all. This is a much smaller, way smaller place than YouTube. So that was correction number one, is that there's only about 25,000 to 30,000 people on Substack. Not enough to make a whole fucking dent. The other thing is, you can tell I don't make videos because I leave this fucking TV on, mute it, and don't realize it's causing the video to change colors while I'm talking. I forget those things because I'm not a production guy. I don't know much about making videos except to make them, and I do the best that I can. And I'm not a journalist. I'm just a writer, and I do the best I can with that too. I refuse to use Chat GPT because if anybody knows, my career was in computers, and I ended my career as a software consultant. And ever since AI came on the scene, I never trusted it one bit. I knew that they would release that crap untested. I knew that it was going to fall into the wrong hands. I knew that before it happened because I trust my computer instincts. I trust my technology instincts. Okay, so there was that. The other thing is, I said that that woman I was talking to yesterday um, deleted her comments. That's not what happened. She muted or blocked me, so I could no longer see them. And I know better because I mute and block people too. But it didn't dawn on me at the time that that's what she had done. So that crap, that whole thread is still out there on that video of Frederick's and Zuri's. Um, and then another thing occurred to me that you know, listen, Frederick is not me. I am not Frederick. Zuri is not me. I am not Zuri. If you have a problem with something that I said, please don't take it out on those two guys. They don't know me very well. So, you can block and mute me if you want to, but don't make them suffer because of me and you getting into it in their comments, of a live. And that goes for anybody I talk to on this platform. Uh, where I'm talking to you is irrelevant to what I'm saying to you. So that was the other thing is that because a friend of mine went out there and saw that the comments indeed were still there, and she had just muted and blocked me. And then some other woman came along and said something, an author, I believe, came along and she started whining too. Listen, this is almost like a disease. It's almost like a why are people being wrong and then backing each other that they're wrong? That's indicative of the fucking cult behavior. Um, and it makes me wonder if they actually heard the video, if they actually listened to Zuri and what she was saying and put two and two together to realize that what I was saying to that woman, name started with a J, and what Zuri was saying was on the money. What is it that, what would be the reason why people are backing up their bullshit with each other? Which seems to be a human condition in the United States. It's like, uh, hello, let somebody drown by themselves. Don't jump in there with them and drown with them. It's like you guys are being silly, ridiculous, immature, childish. And that person who jumped in there to try to have her back, something about it it's not fair to compare all white people. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think once did I say all white women or all white men or all black people or all trans people. Look, we don't live in a monolith. Everybody's unique. And it's like, no, they need to be worried if I say all white people. Now, there are particular things about white people that I can say is a characteristic of all of you, but that's not what the context that I was speaking yesterday. So there was that. What else did I make a major freaking boo boo in? Listen, I was tired. I was pretty exhausted, but the truth of the matter is, the older I get, the more words fall out of my head, the more I transpose things a little bit, the more that I, call it slight dementia or whatever you want to call it. I'll be 69 this year. I've lived on this planet a long time. And so just please give me grace and forgiveness when I do make errors. I usually go back and listen to myself again and see where I drop things out so that I can either make another video, or when I'm making them for YouTube, I can fix them when I'm editing the video. So you'll have to pardon me. And the last thing, I'm not going to make a long video today. Uh, the last thing I want to say is, if you didn't know, there's about 45 million black people in the United States. 45 million compared to 350 million people. And so we can't be everywhere at all times. And we really are coming from a space of not being included in the conversations. We literally have to have balls and barge our way into conversations because we are not invited to the seat at the table. That is something that's been going on for a very, very, very long time. And we just have to be bold and invite ourselves to the table, which is something that I learned to do when I was in middle school, in junior high school. That's what I called it back in the day. Yeah, I grew up in the 60s. So 60s, 70s, became an adult in the 80s. So yeah, give us a fucking break. And we can't fix this crap that y'all do. We can point it out gently, roughly. I'm like, well, I hate to say it because guys will be like, "What, Tina Turner?" I'm like her in that song where she says, I can do it easy or rough." Most of the time, I'm rough about the way that I come across because I'm a little cantankerous as an old man. And I just get tired. I'm tired of this stuff. I've dealt with it all my life. And I may not have all of the history, dates, names, all of that stuff flat. But what I do have that a lot of white people, well, no white people has, is experience with racism, with systemic racism, and with white supremacy. Our experience trumps your book knowledge every single time. You don't know what it's like to experience this stuff versus you guys looking at it like a surgeon, poking around in somebody else's body. They don't know what that feels like. They know what it looks like. They know how to do it. They know how to, talk like they know what they're talking about when they don't. They don't have this experience. And I remember the first time I saw the movie The Help. There was a line in there that touched me very deeply. I don't know why it touched me so much. But, see, I can't even tell you the names. But there was a line in there where the white writer, journalist, was talking to the black woman, the star of the show, who said, "Nobody's ever asked me what it's like to be me." We have that experience all the time in these United States of America. Y'all don't ask us what it's like to be us. You assume you know when you don't. You don't know this experience. You know it like book knowledge. And so it can't even begin to describe how it feels to experience this stuff, how it feels to be constantly chased around department stores because they think you're going to steal when you're making $100,000 a year. I have had people do that to me. And I immediately know what it is because I've experienced it all my life. But to downgrade me, to treat me like a thug, to treat me like a thief, when I'm probably making 5 times more than the fucking people that are following me around. And that's just a small little biopsy of what we experience on a regular basis, because if we're not having people do stuff to us overtly. We're having people do stuff to us covertly, like the microaggression of those two ladies in that live, those two ladies in those comments of that live. The microaggressions are almost worse than the overt racism, because they like to play a lot of games that they can say all day long. Oh, that's not where I was coming from. Yeah, it is. We know. We know intrinsically, we know where you're coming from and why you're being that way with us. We know. But since I'd say clearly the 1970s, they started going underground, underboard with racism and white supremacy, because it was no longer acceptable for them to do it out loud. They did it out loud, they'd lose their job, they'd lose, it was frowned upon. That's all the civil rights era did for us, is got you guys to start treating us like a fucking human being. That's all that period of time did. It didn't get full integration. It didn't get any of half the things that you guys think it got us. And then they killed all our leaders to make sure that stuff didn't materialize in real life, in real time. Then you got a bunch of punk ass politicians that all they want is our vote. But none of them deliver on what the hell they're talking about before they get voted in office. Our experience with voting, my experience with voting, okay, I won't say all of us. My experience with voting is I've always had to vote for the lesser of two evils, because we know they're not going to get on there and stop this bullshit called racism. We know it, which is what that's all we care about. I mean, we care about everything that everybody else in life cares about, but we have to deal with the extra dose of bullshit in life that we wish wasn't there, because life is hard enough. Life is hard enough without having to deal with a hostile country that's got its head up its ass about it being hostile and not even really caring. That's what we got to deal with on a regular basis. See, this is the stuff y'all don't want to hear. It's like, no, instead you want to take it back to all the way the fucking back to slavery, as though you can excuse that because it happened a long time ago and it was your ancestors, not you. Well, that shit is alive and well today and happens to us today. And if you're trying to avoid guilt, you're doing it today. Same bullshit, different era. The only difference is it's been modernized. It's been modernized. But all the stuff we talk about all the way back from slavery is still going on in the workplace, in every aspect of life: housing, healthcare, music, sports, politics, the law. Oh, especially the fucking law. Martin Luther King says something that y'all like to probably ignore. You only take what you pimp out Martin Luther King like you're idiots, and you only say what you like that he said in that "I Have a Dream" speech. But he said there's two Americas. It's always been two Americas. The ones where the law protects you, and the one where the law does not protect us. We're lucky if it protects us. Last week, a black woman got murdered by ICE for calling the police for help. And I'm so sick of reading this stuff day in and day out, month in and month out, week in and week out, that I didn't feel like going to look up the details. Because we get tired of talking about this stuff. Y'all still ain't paying attention. We asked for help from the law. We could end up killed. Is that your experience? Are you afraid of that? Are you concerned about that? It's two Americas, one with a C and one with 3 Ks. America, KKK, stupid voiceover thing that's on Substack doesn't even know how to pronounce that. It's still America. It's just America with three K's instead of a C, and it says America. That's how it says it on the voiceover in our articles, essays. So I just wanted to come on here and clear up those things. I probably should have written down what I saw on the playback in case there was another boo-boo I needed to correct. But just know that I pay attention. I pay attention to myself. I pay attention to you. I am a compassionate man. I am feisty as all get out. I will admit that. I know who I am. I'm 69 years old. If I don't know who I am by now, then I really didn't grow up. But I did grow up. I've got over 42 years of sobriety, and I'm telling you, Alcoholics Anonymous taught me more about life and myself than anything I could have done at the time. And then I used AA to springboard off into other things that I've done. Always on a growth path, always trying to better myself, always trying to better humanity. I let God use me. I'm not the most, I'm very detail oriented, but I easily forget names and dates. So I can't talk about things from that standpoint. I have to talk about them experientially because I don't remember that crap. And the name thing is a childhood trauma. Listen, as Bob Gibson's son, we were exposed to hundreds, sometimes thousands of people a year. You'll find out when I get my entire story out there. I am working on the last 15 years, a story about the last 15 years of my life, which comprises my transition from female to male. And I know that spooks a lot of you guys. You know I'm feisty, so you won't even step to me because you're scared to ask me questions about it. But I'm very open to talking, discussing it in a non-perverted fashion. But so I'm going to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about why it's not that important, because I don't live my life centered around that identity. I live my life centered around being Black. That people can see. When I'm out and about, people don't know I'm trans, and I don't walk around with trans stamped on my forehead. It's not that important to me. It is important when we're getting lambasted and when you're trying to disappear us out of society. And y'all don't even know that because they're keeping that real quiet. What all the shit that they've been doing to us since idiot got in office the first time. So yeah, we gotta. I'm at the intersection of many different communities, from rich to poor, from Black to white, from trans to cis, from the LGBT world to the straight world. I mean, I'm at an intersection. What are those things flying around? I guess it might be dust. I don't see any bugs. I'm at a lot of intersections in life, and so I guess that just makes me extra experienced with life. And I want to help us to the mountaintop, to overcome like I was taught growing up. Any rate, so it's Thursday, and I hope everybody has a nice weekend. I just wanted to make a video that I did not intend for it to be this long. I get to talking. But I do love sharing with folks. And you'll find out when I get this book written what a busy last 15 years this has been. I have lived an entire lifetime since 15 years ago. So y'all have a good one, and I'll at you later.